I cannot count how many times the last few years where I knew I was supposed to go to the gym, and then when the time came, I just came up with an excuse, and then I did not show up to train. So you're not alone in this if you're going through this. So today, I want to take some time and talk about 3 powerful ways you can gain control of your mind and then take the actions that will truly serve you in the long run, right? Now, if I'm going to be honest, one of the main reasons why so many of us, I believe, take actions, especially negative actions, based off our thoughts, is a lack of understanding of what thoughts really are, right? So then the question becomes, how do we make sure that we do not identify with our thoughts if we know that some of the actions that are usually associated with these thoughts could be detrimental to our future? All right, I got you covered. The first thing I need you to understand is that you're not your thoughts, right? Secondly, I believe most of us are cognizant of the fact that our thoughts are a stream of ideas, right? They come in and go. Like, how many times have you been thinking about a really bad idea that's been bothering you? You try to get rid of it, you couldn't. And then hours later, you realize you're not even thinking about it anymore. It tells you that our thoughts are indeed a stream of ideas. Your job is not to act on every one of your thoughts, right? Your job is to observe these thoughts, analyze them, and still find a way to make a conscious decision and take an action that will help you get to the future outcome that you truly want. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're supposed to go jogging today at 5 p.m., right? And then around 4 p.m., you start telling yourself, I don't feel right. I think I'm gonna skip today. Actually, I've been training a lot this week. You're not supposed to act on that thought. Your job is to observe it, find a way to still go jogging, because you know if you do, in the long run, it will help you maintain your overall disciplines, all right? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect in no shape or form, right? There are several times where I acted on some of my negative thoughts. I cannot count how many times the last few years where I knew I was supposed to go to the gym, and then when the time came, I just came up with an excuse, and then I did not show up to train. So you're not alone in this if you're going through this. But this is what I've found to work after all these failures the last few years, right? The first one on the list that has really helped me gain control of my mind and take the actions that will serve me is something I call the pause and release. This is a method that I find to be so useful, right? So what I mean by this is, whenever you start having these negative thoughts, right? The thoughts that really are not helpful in terms of taking the actions that will get you where you want to be, your job is to pause, right? The simple fact of interrupting the pattern and coming in between the thought and the action will stop you mostly from taking the action. But your job is to ask yourself, if I decided to act on this thought, is it going to be useful to me, right? Is it going to make me better? And if it's not going to make you better and it's going to make you worse, then it's obvious you shouldn't act on that. This is something that I personally have found to be very effective in terms of helping you formulate strong quality habits as you evolve through your own personal evolution, all right? The second thing that I have on the list today is block times and dedicated hours to a specific task, right? Now, this is something a lot of people don't do, but this is where schedules actually comes in. Schedule yourself and find a way to put things down, because this is what I realized. When you have dedicated times towards specific actions, it's more likely that you don't have those randomness in thoughts, right? Like right now, as I'm doing this video, I'm not thinking about anything else besides making sure I show up for this video, execute, and give you guys my best. Whenever anyone is doing these type of things, you're not going to have those negative ideas coming to you. So find a way to dedicate time for specific activities. And whenever you are executing on these things, try to remove a lot of distractions as possible. I personally have found this to really help me focus on what I need to do, so ultimately I can get to where I'm trying to go. All right. The last one on the list is going to be training. And I know so many of you have heard this so many times from me, so you're probably getting tired, but trust me, exercise, scientifically, we know that the benefits are incalculable. I don't need to explain this to you, but in terms of your overall cognition, the benefits are absolutely awesome. You know, most of you don't know that as you age, your cognition is not the same, right? It completely slows down. Your job is to exercise, and it helps you overall maintain and reduce that decline. And if you do not do this, you're going to notice it a lot faster. Does it mean it's going to happen to everyone? Not necessarily, but I believe exercising helps a lot. And personally, this is what I've come to find out. Whenever I go a few weeks or a few days without training, like, it's a lot easier for me to get agitated. And then I also noticed that my disciplines are not the same if I'm not focused on my training. If you truly want to be able to make better decisions as you get older, which is going to be very important, then I strongly suggest that you find a way to train. Listen, as always, I do these videos to really help you take the actions you need to take so you can ultimately get the outcomes that you want. I don't want you to look back every single year and say, man, I've tried everything, I don't get it. No, you haven't. If you really become very clear on what you want, like what we are talking about today, like if you really want to gain control of your mind, and then you find a way to use this pause and release method. You find a way to have block times and dedicated hours. And if you execute on these things, find a way to train consistently as much as you can to keep your mind as sharp as possible. Over a sustained period of time, you accumulate a lot of wins, which equals to the success you're looking for, especially when you have clarity of the vision itself. And so, don't just listen again without taking actions. Like I said the last episode when we did this, make me look good, right? The only way you're going to make me look good is if you take the actions. They work. I've personally used it, right? And so if you use it, you're going to see massive results over time, all right? If you found a lot of value in this episode, right, make sure that you like and subscribe. And then most importantly, if anything resonated with you, right, anything that I talk about today reminded you like, oh man, I've been slacking on this and I need to be a lot more focused, then please let me know in the comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you go out there and you make today one of the best days of the week. Peace.